Is it live? Is it live?
From the Bally Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge. Welcome to Friday edition, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'm Charles Sandegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gautreaux, host of folks here getting ready for the start of day 2 of the NCAA basketball tournament in about 15 minutes. Kentucky and Santa Clara tip it off, and the first block of games.
Let's go Broncos.
Well, wait a minute.
Vamos.
Now, you're going against Randy McKay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're going against me too then, because I got the Cats in game
Kentucky
number 1.
versus Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Highest payroll in the league.
Yeah.
Probably the highest payroll in the country.
Yeah.
3.5, 4?
It's 3.5 right now, yeah.
Roto-Rooter.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, come on.
Hey, look.
What's Santa Clara's budget, Charlie?
Less than Kentucky's.
Yeah.
Considerably less than Kentucky's.
It was our first day of March Madness broadcasting in a sports book in Baton Rouge yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun. A great day yesterday.
Think I'm a tough grader on these things?
Yes.
A.
A?
A.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
I was going to say A+.
Armando, and Brandon, the games, we never missed a dribble.
Nope.
We never missed a dribble.
Nope.
We shifted the audio as games were.
That was great, and that's underrated, too, because not every sports book does that. Where you have the audio of the most significant game at the time, they were on point yesterday.
Circa has an audio producer. They're not allowed to show 1 second of commercials. You know the deal. You know when the timeouts are coming. Under the 4-8-12-16. So you got to anticipate, or run. But when we weren't doing that, but we were making sure that, with a little I was dropping dimes. I was throwing some assists or whatever. But just okay, man. We got the audio the last 10 minutes of high point. Okay, had to have it. All right. Then we shifted over to Duke and Siena in the second half. Mm-hmm. But she's kind of basically shifted off second half, the most competitive game. So kind of a step start, but I'm very pleased. And this is the deal, man. Sometimes Vegas is great. Vegas is great, but you know what? Flying ain't fun these days. You saw the TSA lines?
If you tried to get through, well, pretty much anywhere, but Atlanta, New York.
And we love Vegas, but Vegas is, man, it ain't $2.99 steak and lobster anymore. No, it costs you to sit your chair, at a restaurant, not even a sports book. Yeah. So it's to have, pretty damn close to the experience, right in your backyard. What was our moniker years ago? The closest sports book to Baton Rouge is Natchez. And Kicks and those guys were awesome. Kicks is gone. He gone. And so, they got new ownership. It's just in. It ain't the same. But, man, we've had a real good partnership with the Queen and Bally's. And, Tommy and Cliff and those guys, and Scotty, the Andres, those guys they're the best. Yeah. They're the best. Armando's over here, and he's efforting. And he is receptive to, just kind of steering them the right way. And he is, Charlie, 3 months, I guess this place is open. How much smoother operation is it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm stoked, man. Come on by and see us, man.
This is a wonderful place.
We had a nice crowd. And there was nobody that didn't have a chair. Beau Rivage, Carl Johnson. How good is he?
Fantastic.
One of the best.
Yeah, we love
One of the best. But it's a little bit of a fight for a chair at Beau Rivage for March Madness, is it not?
Yes.
I had to fight for my space one day to do the damn show.
Right.
But I'm stoked, man, and because just the screen alone, the investment in this, that's every bit as good as the win. It's actually a better screen than the win. How about all your games, one sight line? You're not pivoting your neck around.
Right.
So I'm happy, Charlie.
Oh, man.
and
you are a tough grader. And in addition to everything that you said, they're giving away over $25,000 in free play
yes.
over the course of the tournament.
Yeah.
You take your shot with the Papa Shot, and make your plays. They're going to be drawing the next 3 Saturdays of the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
So
tomorrow and the next, yeah.
So
how many are you making out of 5, Charlie?
All of them.
Okay. 5 for 5. I think that's like 1,000 free play right there. Boom.
Where's
5 for 5.
Where's Pistol Pete when you need him, huh?
You know,
Pete, we're gonna share this, but you shoot for me, brother.
I think I'm
the one that his buddy told at the fair, and he won so many stuffed animals. The guy said, "You got to go."
yeah, get out. Right.
he was shooting from like 25 feet away.
And I'm joking. I would not make.
Might have to go to
comment.
walk-ons to practice first, and then come back. You know?
I'm a 3 out of 5 guy.
3 out of
Steady.
5?
Okay.
Yeah.
60%.
It's tight rims.
My friend Johnny was an all-state point guard in high school. I might let him shoot for me.
Oh, it'd be
more,
wise.
More of an assist guy.
And I'll let Max swing the clubs for me.
Okay, so yesterday, biggest story, High Point over Wisconsin, Duke's near miss, North Carolina blowing the biggest lead in the first round since the tournament expanded to 64, tied for the biggest lead, 19
Martelli
points.
Jr., the next one is going to get a big job out of that program.
And Hubert Davis, look, I understand. You get upset, you're going to be a little prickly in the post game, but he was It was more than a little bit testy in that post game.
Here's the deal. Like when we say, why are we giving this coach this much? Who else is offering him? Who else is coming to get him? And, I mean, it worked out. I mean, best team in the history of the sport, at Ogeron. But who else was, an elite job or a high major job was offering Ogeron?
No.
No. Now, he could have gotten a USC job after the interim run. That would not have been
because
he
did
a
really good job, and if they had hired him, it would not have
been.
And
so he was interim here, and so I understand. But who else is hiring Hubert Davis? I
don't know.
I can listen to maybe a Mississippi State. Okay, I mean a lower resource expectation, high major, but not a North Carolina. North Carolina is a top 5 job.
Right. He's a legacy there, and he was an assistant there for a long time. I get why they hired him.
Roy Williams hired him.
Yeah. That program, think about LSU baseball. You think about Alabama football. You think about North Carolina basketball. The expectation there is higher than just about any. Maybe Duke.
I got to say top 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe one.
The expectations in North Carolina, look, over here, you go to the tournament and lose in the first round, we might cry with happiness. It's been a minute. But at North Carolina, if you go to the tournament and you lose in the first round, they're going to start asking questions about your job. And that's just how it is at that school. And they would be doing the same thing with Shia if they had lost yesterday. Now, his job wouldn't be in jeopardy because he's had a little bit better run than Davis. But you can't lose those games at North Carolina and Duke.
Well, the commonality in those 2 games is yesterday, where's the bench? That old lady, where's the beef?
And that's when Davis kind of lost it in the postgame when they asked you, your team was fatigued. They are looking. VCU is looking at you and kind of pointing at you, kind of taunting you a little bit, and you squeeze the rotation down to 6 guys, and they were gassed. The big guy was gassed.
Well, how would you grade McNamara yesterday?
Well, I don't. How much more can you do?
McNamara, who's coaching Siena.
If you're Siena, and you with 5 minutes to go, you got the lead on Duke, the number 1 overall seed.
Well,
how much more can you do?
Well, if we're criticizing Hubert Davis for playing 6, McNamara played 5. Have you ever seen a game where 5 played 40 minutes?
No, but
okay, did they wear down at the end? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, so why is because Siena the expectation level? Okay, but you still get into the game and you're doing worse than what Hubert Davis did.
Okay.
And guess where he's going to be working next week? Syracuse has an opening, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, he going there.
Sure.
I mean, that'll be a lock.
He may only have 5 guys that can give him what North Carolina
might. Well,
they're supposed to have 10.
Okay, but their ace is gone.
That's a
legitimate injury excuse.
It is. But you're supposed to have more than 6 at North Carolina. If you're Siena, this is. I'll use another baseball analogy. You get to the College World Series when you were at Kent State because you had one guy. You had one arm that was elite, and the rest of the guys are and that day he's got to throw 140 pitches. Okay, well, you do that because this is your shot. Okay, I know you're tired, but you got to go out there and do it. That's Siena. Okay, North Carolina's supposed to have 8-10 of these guys. They really are. Don't you think?
I don't know, man.
I know what they expect.
Hey,
I know
how
what they
many
expect.
college basketball games have we seen? Ever? I've never seen 5 guys play all 40 minutes.
No, I haven't either. I haven't. I'm sure
Okay.
it's happened somewhere, but I haven't
mean,
seen it.
Yeah, you wore down.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Get a couple guys directly. Give me 4 or 5 minutes a game. Sorry.
And you do that in the first
Sorry.
half. Yeah.
And when
you,
over the course of the game.
You do, right.
I mean, you're
but
trickling.
especially
I mean,
in the
you
first
don't, no,
half.
we're not putting that empty in a bench, all 5 subs at one time. It's not the posse. Perry Clark in his days at Tulane. But, no, you got to get somebody in there, man.
Yeah. For the SEC, some good, some bad. Arkansas, very impressive against Hawaii. That was a big, pretty much a walkover there. Vanderbilt had their problems with McNeese, but McNeese is a quality club. They pulled away late. Texas bested BYU. That was one that we talked about yesterday. You're going to take one of the 11s. Yeah, always take the 11s that advance out of the first 4. You'll usually do pretty well. Texas a winner. Texas A&M handled St. Mary. And then the final game of the night, Georgia just got completely blown off the floor by St. Louis. I was surprised at that one. I would not have been surprised had St. Louis won a close game. I was surprised that they won the game by 25 and it wasn't that close. I mean, that was a gate-to-wire deal for St. Louis.
All right, what about our narrative leading up? Max, you too. What about our narrative leading up? Cinderella's dead or Cinderella's severely wounded. March Madness might not ever be the same.
I will tell you that I thought Cinderella made a comeback yesterday. Okay, Siena didn't win, but Siena had everybody's attention
Very good.
for 2.5
yes,
hours.
absolutely. Yes, they were competitive.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly competitive.
Completely out of High Point. Everybody criticized the schedule, but we knew they scored a lot of points. We expected a high-scoring game. They
How
get
about
the
that
win.
flurry the last 5 minutes?
Oh, that was unbelievable. We got a clip that we're going to
Yeah,
share.
we'll play it later.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
It
The
was-
student media play-by-play call was golden for High Point.
McNeese was very competitive yesterday. So I thought Cinderella made a little bit of a comeback yesterday.
Max?
Well, we had 5 double-digit seeds win outright last year. We had 4 yesterday, so we're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I would say
stat.
I expect that last year was a bit of an outlier. I think we're back to a little bit normal. I think we're going to see, like you said, Jimmy, NIL maybe separates these teams a little bit. But there were a couple more outright winners than I thought there would be. I thought there would be a lot of spread covers for the underdogs, which we did come through with.
No, that did.
But
What was that number?
9-6, 9-6. Because if you shop, you had a winner on either side with
Louisville.
South Florida, Louisville.
depends how you
so,
grade that one.
Yeah. So 9-6, 9-6, double-digit dogs, 5-5 against the spread. So both way up. Now, that was the dogs had a bad day last year. It was kind of flipped last year, but Friday was a disaster. We're halfway through the
Sure.
first round.
Small
but
sample.
yesterday, you could not have told that there's NIL going on in March Madness. March Madness was good yesterday.
Yep.
It's still alive. Cinderella may be wounded. Cinderella may have a higher hill to climb, but she's still alive. And you just didn't have. You had some double-digit dogs that were non-competitive. I mean, Arkansas Hawaii, non-competitive. Michigan State, Colorado. I mean, that game, North Dakota State, non-competitive. And then you had some Siena out of nowhere. That is huge. I mean, that's a little bit off of Princeton, Georgetown. Like in the late '80s. So I'm pleased that one of my favorite events is still alive and kicking. Now that's halftime. It's kind of like the race to 10. Race to 10, by the way. Dogs 10-6.
Okay.
Unit profit 15.5. Not bad, but just
Yeah.
one of these first half unders a little bit under 500. So, but the dogs were more competitive. You didn't know from game to game. One game was going to be lopsided. Some games were supposed to be close. They were lopsided. So you had comebacks. You had some big underdogs that were more competitive than we thought.
And don't you think the jolt with Siena against Duke is more impactful than it would have been against Arizona? Everybody's got an opinion on Duke. You either love them or you hate them. Okay?
Duke's the needle mover.
Arizona's a 1 seed, and they're great, and they may win the national championship, but they don't inspire the kind of passion that Duke does.
Come on by and see us, man. We're getting ready to tip off Santa Clara and Kentucky right now. Again, we got all 16 games on over here. We also threw in a little LSU baseball last night and some other things. We got 2 TVs. 2 TVs with, flexibility, and get some NBA or some other. Excuse me, Charles. Get some other stuff. Tessa's behind the bar over here with a big smile. So it's and it's nice to have a nice, warm, friendly smile when you wake up in the morning,
Yeah,
Charles. When you get your cappuccino, I woke up to you, and the rest of the public can wake up to Tessa. So come on by and see us, man. We're hunkering down. March Madness, lock it away.
Live at lunch from Bally's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony is taking it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
You've heard me talk about Workbox services and how they can handle all of your movable storage needs for both commercial and residential. With our shipping containers of all sizes, customized in any way that you need or desire. Now Martin Padial has expanded his coverage outside the Baton Rouge area. Workbox can now service the Gulf Coast and New Orleans areas all the way to Lake Charles. Our staff at Workbox continues to grow with Hannah, Martin Jr., Brandy, and Chris. Do like I did when I needed a movable storage unit. Call Workbox at 343-4886 or workboxllc.com.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, pour cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions.
310.
A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative
Good to see
disease,
you.
and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, Handicast up on YouTube. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business in 2026. Go to SupremeRice.com the Budget leading Santa Clara 8-4 in the early going in game number 1.
All right, Chris Massaro joins us right now. Chris, your thoughts on day one when all the narrative leading up, Cinderella severely wounded, dead, March Madness not the same. What you take away from the first half of the first round yesterday?
Guys, thanks for having me. I would say a little bit. Some of the games were a little bit closer than you would expect. Obviously, no one was thinking Siena was going to push them to the limits like they did. It's too bad that they didn't win that game because it was there for the taking. How many missed dunks, putbacks, or rimmed out threes in the second half? It just felt like the lid was on the basket for Siena in the second half. It was right there for the taking, and you almost wish. I know you guys were talking about it previously about the McNamara only playing 5 guys, but just you wish you could have just given one of the guys a breather. Their main shooter there, you could just tell they were a little bit winded. They didn't have the legs. The dunks just weren't getting above the rim. You just wish they could have given some of the guys a breather. But to Charlie's point, maybe they only have 5 guys, and that's just what they have. But it was entertaining. There was your share of blowouts, but hey, the VCU comeback made it exciting. First game of the day with Ohio State TCU. Thought it was a great game. A big lead. They blew it. Ohio State's going to win it, and then they kind of blow it. So it was entertaining. I'm a little bit more excited for today, and I'm glad we're going to talk because I have most of the games I actually played are today's slate, not as much yesterday.
Dogs 9-6. We won't count South Florida Louisville because depending on where you shopped, if you did, you had a winner on either side of that one. So let's get to it. And the Dogs got crushed last year, and really the inflated lines, compared to, they were just higher. They're higher this year than they have been. We talked about, 14 double-digit favorites last year in the first round, 18 this year. All of 1 through 4 seeds, all double-digit favorites. The 5, 12s or 8 or more. So the inflated lines didn't really come into play that much. It wasn't a whole lot of them minus, South Florida and Louisville. All right, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we were texting last night about some of the games, and it just feels like the variance in these games are so big. There's no, it's just going to happen. The variance is so big. It's teams, unfamiliar teams playing at unfamiliar gyms, and it's almost too hard to actually handicap the game. How do you? I had under in the A&M St. Mary's game, but it wasn't because I thought A&M was only going to score, a limited amount of points. I figured that St. Mary's was going to control the pace, keep it a tight game, and it's going to go under. It ended up being A&M, who's a fast-paced team, in the under. Just a weird situation. But then even though you said some underdogs covered, you still had some big dogs just put down the beating, like Houston, totally dominant against Idaho. Idaho way under their team total.
Yeah.
Illinois got out to a little bit of a slow start, and then they just started firing on all cylinders in the second half. Some of those foreign players are really lighting it up. They scored 100 points, so two bigger favorites covered easily. So
yeah, and that's frustrating for guys like us. That's frustrating for guys like us because we can't. If we're having a hard time sort of handicapping and predicting, but that's what makes the event the event. You don't know. So I just think it was a win because I was just really worried because of we pay a lot more attention to the payrolls of these rosters in college than most, and it's not a fair fight anymore. Period. And you just wonder, but no, there were some strong performances by some of these smaller schools. It's just not as bad. Dogs were profitable yesterday. Who are we looking at today, Chris?
All right, so one of the first 2 bets I made of the week, I played Furman plus 21. I'm not sure where the line is now. I haven't even really dove into the numbers this morning. My bets are in, and I'll probably tinker a little bit live. But I like Furman. You get Bob Ritchie, veteran coach, 9th year at Furman, 68.8% winning percentage. He has well over 200 wins. And if you remember, in 2023, Furman, as a 13th seed, beat Virginia. They ended up losing the next round to the eventual national championship runner-up in San Diego State. So this coach has been there before. They get a veteran team. They play smart. They don't play too fast. They don't look to muck it up a little bit against UConn. And listen, UConn, obviously, Bobby Hurley, great coach. Obviously, they have the freshman Braylon Mullins, who's a star. They have, they got Caravan, who's been there, national champion. I'm just not impressed with the shooting, though. The last 2 games, UConn, 52 points against St. John's. They were 3 for 19 from 3, only 15.8%. You could say, hey, that was St. John's Super Bowl. But, hey, the game before that against the lowly Georgetown, they only shot 8 for 25 from 3, 32%. So UConn is coming in, not shooting the ball well. They've had these lulls in offense all year, and I just don't think laying 21 points. I know Hurley has this great cover record. I think this spread's a little inflated because of that. And I think a well-coached team like Furman, who went through the nice stretch in the Southern Conference tournament, won 3 in a row, all of them pretty easily. I think Furman has a good chance to hang around early in this game. Not saying they're going to get the victory or they're going to pull a Siena, but I think they can hang around. I think 21, 20 and a half, 21, that's too much for a struggling UConn team.
You can still get 20 and a half here at Bally's. That's a 9 o'clock tip tonight.
Yep,
Time.
20 and a half over here at the DraftKings outlet at Bally's. All right, who's next?
This one's getting me a little nervous because everyone's saying the same exact thing, but I still played it, and I'm probably gonna play it again. It ticked up a little bit this morning. I played it at 130. I think we're at 130 and a half. Iowa, Clemson under. 2 of the slowest paced teams in the country. Iowa 358th in pace. Clemson 333rd. Another interesting fact is both of these teams good defensively. Iowa 30th, Clemson 21st, but they also defend deep into the shot clock. Iowa defends at the 307th longest rate. Clemson 360th. So basically, no one's scoring quick, and a lot of times they're not scoring because both of these teams don't shoot the 3 very well at all. They're low 30% on the 3-point. So I just think it's an ugly type of game. I know everyone else is saying the same thing, but I can't really see this game going to. I just don't see a scenario where it's like they score 80 points in the first half. I mean, maybe it happens. It looks like a rock fight type of game. If you watch these teams throughout the year, you've seen both of them go into really long scoring droughts. 5 minutes at a time where they just don't score a basket. So I expect the same thing. It's probably one of those games you're not going to want to watch. It's going to be that type of ugly game.
Yeah.
So maybe you just pop it on in halftime. Hopefully it's like 27-22 at the break. You might be on your way to a win.
130 and a half over here at Bally's, the lowest total on the board today. 130 and a half. The only one that's close is 132 and a half, and that's Northern Iowa and St. John's. All right, Iowa under. And look, watching Clemson too, they shrug. This is not the same. This is not the caliber of Clemson team we've seen like the last 5 years under Brad Brownell. All right, Chris, who else?
No, but look at that game the other night against UNC. They're up by 15. They're favored by 1.5, and they end up winning by 1 because they could not score the basketball the last 5 minutes of the game.
Brutal beat.
Both of these teams.
Brutal beat.
They should have a round robin tournament. Tennessee, Iowa, Clemson. The 3 worst offenses to watch in the country.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about a good offense. I really like this spot. It's a very short travel. You're going to have the majority of the fans rooting for the squad. It's just a short 4-hour trek down Interstate 8 from Arizona, from Tucson over to San Diego. You got a big favorite. I don't like playing big numbers, but I think this is a perfect spot for Arizona. You really, really, really find a team that plays fast, like Arizona, 54th in the country in tempo, that's good on both offense and defense. 5th on offense, 3rd on defense, 8th in offensive rebounding percentage. Its defensive effective field goal percentage is 3rd, and the most important stat in this game for me is that they are number 2 in defending the 2s. So who's coming all the way across country from Long Island? LIU, horrible on offense, 239, horrible on defense, 188, lots of turnovers. They do not shoot their free throws well, only 66.8%. And LIU, most of these teams from the small conferences, they get away with shooting a bunch of threes and hoping to get lucky. LIU doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They're only 29% of their shots are threes. They get 58% of their points from the 2-point line. And that's going to be a recipe for disaster for them because you're going up against one of the biggest front lines in college basketball. And like I mentioned, Arizona defends the 2 at the 2nd best percentage in the country. I just think this is going to be just a walk in the park. They play fast. I don't think they're going to let up because they got that crowd behind them. I think it's just going to be a total. This should be, if Illinois wasn't the biggest victory, this will be the biggest victory of the tournament. I like Arizona -30.
Ooh, that -30 and a half, baby. That ain't like you, man. We're not used to you laying that chalk like that.
Well, we got Tucson West. Tucson West, that's what they like to call it. All the zonies, like come out in the summertime. They're very familiar with the area. They're going to load up Viejas Arena today. It's going to be all Arizona fans. It's going to be just like a home game.
I feel like I'm a resident of Scottsdale. I meet so many damn people from Scottsdale with the 4-hour drive to get out that hot weather during
Who's
the
got
summer.
the better tea, Arizona or Long Island?
The what?
Who's got the better tea? Arizona tea, Long Island iced tea.
Long Island, Charlie. all white liquors. Just put them all together and let's call it. Let's get a little splash of Coke and call it an iced tea. Yeah, yeah. That was. I had my fair share of those when younger days. All right. Anything else, Chris?
Just one other one I kind of like, just because I think I didn't dive too deep into this one, but I just feel like St. John's defensively, they're starting to try. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Pacino made an offhanded comment middle of the year where he's like, these kids have all come from huge conferences, and we're playing in a watered-down Big East this year. They're not getting up to some of these games. Well, lately they've been up for them. They're playing great defense. They're grown men on this team. There's a lot of older guys on this team and this roster. And we know Northern Iowa plays slow, 363rd in pace. I just think it's a recipe for an under game. I think St. John's, when they want to try hard on defense, they can. Northern Iowa's not the greatest offensive team, and they like to slow it down too. So under 132.5, a little bit smaller play on that game.
I like that one. Northern Iowa slows it down, and no conference has suffered more from the NIL pay for play in college basketball. I mean, Xavier, Butler, Marquette, Georgetown. I mean, it's really good programs. Creighton, I'm sorry, yeah, Creighton. I mean, just not what they have been. Chris, you're the best, brother. We appreciate it. Good luck today, man. And I'm sure at some point I'll send you some some sort of text that you have a hard time deciphering.
Well, just listen. Let's just make sure Arizona and Florida. We're talking next Friday. Let's hope they're still in the mix.
Okay.
That's all I care about.
Fair enough. Good luck to you, buddy.
All right, talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
All right, don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060, full-service title company, servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get from our long-standing staff. It's Legacy Title, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Pierre-Port store, and now the Thibodeau store, your local experts in construction supplies. They can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre-Port. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at ThibodeauStore.com.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank,
member FDIC.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummings generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. After further review with Matt Moscona. Weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Explain yourself.
Well, Troy's on location today. They're doing an event as well. Troy, tell us where you at, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'm at a Top Golf in Arlington, Virginia for a friend's event. It's a 64-person Top Golf March Madness tournament. I got my first match coming up in about 15 minutes after we get done here. So haven't swung the golf club in a while, but there's TVs at every bay. So it's a fun way to take in March Madness.
Troy, you're a college basketball enthusiast like us, and the narrative coming in, with the NIL/player payrolls, it's made. We've separated the haves and the have-nots more. Cinderella, as she was wounded last year in the tournament. I mean, it was a chalk fest. The whole way. From the first two days all the way to the Final Four, where all four number ones advanced, and 3 2s and a 3 in the Elite Eight. Your takeaway from yesterday's game, where the Dogs 9-6 against the spread, will leave out Louisville and South Florida, because if you shop lines, you had a winner on either side of that one, and 5-5 double digits, and some games were blowouts and some games were unexpectedly competitive.
Right, and even before the NIL portal trend, we had blowouts in 1, 2, and 3 seeds. We didn't have as many, close games, to the point that Duke, was the first one seed to ever trail at halftime by 10 points in a first-round game. But I think the overall discourse about NIL changing March Madness and getting rid of Cinderellas is a little premature. Certainly last year was what it was. 2 years ago, not a single one seed made the Final Four. But the interesting thing, if you look at it, what were the underdogs to win? High Point, certainly, but they were, very sought after. TCU and VCU. But really, if you had 4 double-digit seeds win, only 2 were real mid-majors. TCU has a great pedigree of doing this. So, sometimes you have to look bigger at the details of the fact that Duke nearly lost, was trailing the whole time. I think, it's a year-to-year tournament. And, yeah, certainly there'll be years where it's chalk. And I don't know if any 15 seeds are going to win this year, but we expect it more because we've seen it more recently. But, growing up with 15 seeds beating a 2 wasn't all that common. 14s over 3 weren't all that common. But I think recent history has made us think that it should happen more than it does, especially with now seeing two 16-feet runs.
No hyperbole. Just never seen it before. Watched a ton of college basketball games, but I've never seen a team play all 5 starters for 40 minutes like Siena did in McNamara.
Yep.
And I've never seen a guy wear 99 that hit his first 2-point field goal, the run-out layup of the season, coming off the bench. I mean, like, and that dude pulled up from the logo with like 25 seconds on the shot clock one time. And Charlie said, "Oh my God!" I said, "What's it, Charlie? It's a 3-pointer." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I mean, I'm just. It's one of my favorite days, 2 days, and I'm just glad that in this tournament, I don't care if you get 140 teams, as long as you have 64 by the time you hit Thursday. I don't care where you go from there. I mean, it's still alive and well. So I mean, I'm just fired up that. One of the best events of the sports year for sports enthusiasts is still alive and well.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we didn't get the big results we were looking for. We didn't get a buzzer beater, but we got a game winner. There's a couple 10-point wins that were much closer. The Vanderbilt McNeese game was close until the last few minutes. Kennesaw State Gonzaga was close until the last few minutes. So, while we may not have busted brackets, we certainly had a lot of really good competition. Made, sitting on your pins and needles watching those games, which is what we want for afternoon and nighttime Thursday and Friday hoops.
Troy, any unusual activity, and as far as the handle at Bet Rivers to take away from the first day? Are these race to 10s or 15s more popular? Are they still betting the dogs? I mean, would give us some peek behind the curtain as far as the handle you guys are taking.
Yeah, I think the interesting ones are that we actually lost a good bit of money on the High Point Wisconsin game, and I think it's because High Point was a very popular dog, on the money line. Wisconsin, people have their thoughts about their consistency this year, just a historical trend. And so usually, in that case, we would probably win a little bit of money, but there was a lot of live betting on Siena. Actually, I had a 35-1 ticket, and ended up cashing out at 10-1 midway through the second half. So that seems like a win. But the biggest trend for me is the percentage of money that was on unders. I'm an unders bettor. I preach about unders. Most people like to bet overs. But, I think before the first tip of the first game, 68% of all over-under money was on unders. And by the end of the day, it was around 65%, which is very, very surprising. Looking at over-unders for today, I think there's only one over-under the over is backed by more than 80% of the tickets, which usually is a very common thing. But people are really, really going unders because I think the trend that, games backing up, they're slow, different rims, overinflated balls. So unders have been the trend, which is a surprising thing.
Yeah, I used to bet all the first half unders, but these lines are so that window of opportunity has gone by. I mean, some of these lines are just so low, so I even had to back off. And I think it was you were a loser yesterday if you bet all first half unders yesterday. Max? What was the total yesterday in the totals period for the games? I think it was pretty close to 8 and 8. So
yeah, I'll look that up, but I think you're right about that. It was pretty much
close.
dead even.
Troy, Max looks that up. Anything that you like on today's card?
Yeah, I like some of the dogs to cover. I don't know if Akron wins outright, but I think that game is going to go down to the wire. I had some success last night with heavy dogs. I'm not sure I can pull the trigger on Long Island to cover, but I believe Furman and at minus or plus 20.5 is good. So yeah, and I just think that also live betting has been very fun because some of these, if you're not going to get on a race to 10, you can still get a big spread for an underdog, and if they're close in the first half, you hope that they can hang on, and that there's going to be a 10-point cushion late in the second. So if you can get within 8 points and then they tack on 10, that's 18. You still hit an under 20 that you got 5 minutes in now, having seen the matchup kind of play out for 5 minutes.
8 and 8 totals yesterday, exactly 500 overs and unders. So in the first race to 10 is Kentucky 10-8. Oway hits that one. That now line, that score is 21-18. Texas Tech with an early 4-0 lead over Akron. Troy, man, we appreciate you taking time away from your event, man, your fun. So get back, man. Go have some fun, brother. We will talk to you on Monday. Good luck to you this weekend.
Same to you guys. Thank you.
All right, Troy Macker from Bet Rivers. Any takeaways from these games early?
No, they're both fairly close. We got down to about the 7-minute mark. Kentucky with a 3-point lead against Santa Clara. Texas Tech got off to a good start against Akron. They lead at 6-3 in the early going, but we're just getting warmed up, Jimmy. Just getting warmed up.
It's a little taste of Omaha. What's Brick Wall doing here today, boy?
I don't know. That was a nice
see
surprise.
the honorable one, huh?
That was a nice surprise to see Judge.
What a pleasant surprise, huh?
Yeah, talk about a guy who really helped us out when we first started doing shows in Omaha, as far as introducing us around and finding us some places, and
30 years ago.
30, yeah, we're coming up on the 30th
Yeah,
anniversary.
30th anniversary of your
Warren
first
Morris.
trip. Yeah,
wow.
Our first shows at Barrett's. Yeah,
that was a day, man. That was
a day. 10 days.
Well, that was a trip.
A day.
When the plane landed down, it's like I don't know if I can ever top that trip. It was my first ever trip to Omaha, and I've been back. I've seen them win another 5 national championships, and I don't think I've ever topped that.
A lot has changed since pregame. The worst Bloody Mary in the world at Starsky's, and give me a couple of Keno cards. Yes, so
Yeah.
and a cigar. So they sell cigars too there. But anyway, yeah, good to see Brick. Man, he looks good.
He does.
Looks really, really good. All right, we're over here. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. I've got an account over there. Man, people are friendly. It's just a little extra step, that extra, gesture of friendliness when you come in and you're doing, that look like they're happy to see you, and, just making sure that everything is taken care of. It's just pleasant people to deal with. Of course, Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Crean, David Campbell, David Henry. That's our dream team of bankers over at United Community Bank. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988. Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The Pierrepont Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierrepont. Top-notch tools and expert advice It's local service from the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. While they launch dirty crawfish. Get your crawfish washers now.
I'm getting a sack of crawfish from Sammy Sunday, man.
Yeah? Well,
yes, indeed.
Get your crawfish washer, the blues, the purples, and the reds from all 4 locations. Thibodeau Store, Pierre Part Store, also open in LaRose and Lockport. Today is the first day of spring, Jimmy. It's March the 20th. First day
is
of
that
spring.
right?
First day of spring.
Okay.
So if you're getting, you're getting out in the yard, you're planting, you're weeding, you're doing flower beds, you're all kinds of cleanup outside to get you ready for the warm weather that's pretty much here right now. Get big discounts on tools, gardening equipment, potting soil, seeders, spreaders, outdoor power equipment at thethibodeaustore.com. You can get to all 4 of the locations at that one website, thethibodeaustore.com.
So we didn't have a 13 to 16 seed win yesterday, right?
No,
I don't think so.
The 12
12
high
was
point
the high.
High Point was the high point.
Watch High Point. High Point get a little boost of applications. Because when you dig into you go check out their arena. It is attached to a 5-star boutique hotel. They have a hotel management curriculum that's where they study and do it. It's only $75,000 a year.
That's it?
But yeah, that's it. But their little 5,500 seat arena, it looks like a Ritz-Carlton, Charlie. It is so damn nice. It is unbelievable, man.
Let's play Family Feud for a second. 100 people survey yesterday. How many people could tell you what state High Point's in?
Well, I knew.
I know you know, and I know too, but that's just because we watched the thing.
Ethan actually got recruited a little bit.
Really?
Academically there, yeah.
So, but seriously, if 100 random people yesterday, how many of them could tell you what state High Point is in? I'm going to say less than 50.
Oh, yeah. No, I would say more than 20, 25%.
Okay.
Max, did you know where High Point was before yesterday? What state? Or did you even hear? Yeah, you've heard of it.
I do baseball. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm aware.
Okay. Because through sports, and
yes.
yeah. But no, it's
North Carolina, by the way. If you're wondering.
Let's play the clip. So student media. This is like a little montage, an audio edit where about a minute and change, where the student media, 90-90 hits the 3 to cut it to 1. They get the block shot and get the run out for 90-90's first 2-pointer of the season, and then they block the shot and gather it. And Jordan, take it away. Here's the High Point student media call for that exciting last minute of the game.
Driving, step back. In circles now. Johnson, catch and shoot. Takes it inbounds. 9 seconds. Boyd wants it inside. Drive. 6 seconds. Block! Now Boyd, they launch down court. Anderson gets it! Throw on the glass slipper! It's a Cinderella story in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in program history, High Point breaks through. We will see you in the round of 32.
Everybody's ever called a game hopes you get a moment like that, in the school's history. Wouldn't that be something? Wow.
We
All right.
will see you at 32.
Live at lunch from Bally's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
1950 Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street.
I was worried we were close to a break there.
In the 70s, and now it's on Anthony.
Yeah, it was like I tried to go all the way with it, but it was going to be super tight.
Yeah, that was perfect, though. It worked out.
Burgers and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the Southdown Shopping Center.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Spring is just around the corner. It's time to wash away winter's dirt and grime with Cajun Soft Wash. Their safe and effective soft washing removes algae, mold, and pollen, restoring your home's beauty without damage. Trust Cajun Soft Wash, Baton Rouge's largest soft wash company. Book your spring cleaning today at CajunSoftWash.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge on the radio at 104.5 and 104.9 and 98.1 HD2. Online at 1045ESPN.com and with the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
All right, quick update. Kentucky and Santa Clara into the last minute of the first half tied at 29. And Texas Tech with a 7-point lead over Akron. Excuse me, 24-17.
Right?
Yeah, I got about 8 things up here in front of me.
Join the club.
Yeah, 24-17 with about halfway through the first half.
All right, Brucey coming in right now, back with the goal sheet where he belongs. Bruce, man, a lot of narrative, with the paying the players, the NIL they call it, but the separation of the have and have-nots even more. Is Cinderella did the mid-majors, things like kind of you couldn't tell the last couple of days of this tournament, huh? I was pleased with a little bit of unpredictability. Frustrating as a handicapper, but pleased as just a fan of the event. Your thoughts, your takeaway from the first day of round one?
Yeah, yesterday it was, underdogs. I think 11-5 yesterday, so that was a pretty good day for the underdogs. And, I think it's always good to have a game like High Point, Wisconsin to sort of reaffirm why we watch stuff. And you can, even though I like Wisconsin, but you want to see one of those upsets. But, I think, most seasons, it's pretty similar to what we see in most seasons. It's kind of, you don't get that much. The 15 and 16 winning doesn't happen all that much. So in a way, it's sort of routine, but I think maybe the action will start heating up today. It will certainly heat up on the weekend. I don't know if that was a great day yesterday. The one trend I've seen thus far, and the only game it would apply to today, I believe, is Virginia. I think is the only ACC team going today, I think, but I don't think the ACC has covered a game yet in the dance. So that's the one trend conference-wise that I've seen thus far.
Clemson also, Bruce, going today.
Yeah, Clemson too. Yeah.
Clemson.
All right, Brucey, the floor is yours. We got 2 underway, 14 left on today's card. Who you like?
Yeah, today this is interesting. I'm going to look at this the game after the Akron Tech game in Tampa. So Hofstra and Bama. The Holloway situation, I don't see any positive in that with Alabama. Not only the distraction for the team to have the guy get suspended this week, he was their second leading scorer. He was their top 3-point shooter, and a team that shoots more threes and makes more threes than anybody in the country. There's not a lot else that Alabama does well. They do one thing very, and that's play fast and shoot threes. But they don't score many 2-point shots. They don't force many turnovers. It's a one-trick pony, and I think they are actually vulnerable. Today they're vulnerable. I think Hofstra is one possible upset here with the backcourt there of Cruz Davis and Edmead, which a lot of people say is a Big East caliber backcourt. And in Cruz Davis's case, that makes some sense. He did transfer in from St. John's. So that's Speedy Claxton's Hofstra. I think Alabama should really be on upset alert in that one. I know I mentioned the ACC there having some trouble, but I think Virginia, which comes up in a little bit here, about 45 minutes in Philadelphia against Wright State, I didn't think the horizon was all that special this year. Wright State sort of emerged from the pack there right at the end, but it was not a great year in the horizon. Virginia is a side I think could have some legs in that region, and I've liked everything I've seen from what Ryan Odom's team has done this year. This is the region Michigan is in, and I think Michigan looks kind of vulnerable. I would think Virginia can handle that spread against Wright State, which is in high teens there in Philadelphia. That game comes up, like I said, in about 45 minutes. Tonight, the one interesting one here, Missouri, this is the most interesting, I think, seed in the whole, first round here. And not that Missouri made the tournament, but as a 10 seed,
they put them in St. Louis. I mean, that's where, if they were a protected seed, you would have put them. And we've seen the way, these sort of home neutral crowds, these regional edges. You saw it with Miami O the other night. Missouri's going to get that stand against Miami. And I'm sure Jai Lucas is looking around saying, how the heck did we get this draw here? The whole crowd's going to be, most of it's going to be against us tonight. Missouri's one of those teams I would really keep an eye on here. I know they lost a few at the end of the season, but they can create some real matchup problems with Mitchell and Pierce. These guys 6'9", 6'10" out on the perimeter, especially Mitchell. Very hard to stop. There isn't really a matchup for him that Miami or a lot of teams have. I think Missouri is an interesting one there in the close to pick-em game against Miami. Also out in San Diego, we mentioned the seeding. St. John's has a right to be very upset about its seeding. And I thought keeping them on the 5 line after they closed the season winning 19-20, after whipping UConn in the Big East tournament final, keeping UConn at a 2, keeping St. John's at a 5, not moving them the way the tournament chair Keith Gill said they moved Purdue in the Big Ten up because they won that Big Ten title game against Michigan for the 3 line to the 2. What the heck did they keep St. John's on the 5 line for? And then sending them out to San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the furthest trip from Queens. It's even further than Portland. So Pitino has a right to be mad. And then you put them up against Northern Iowa in the first round. No favors there. That's the top scoring defense in the country. If Northern Iowa can pace this game they want, now St. John's likes to bang around too. This game could be played in the 60s. And that 12-point spread might be a little much for St. John's to overcome. I think maybe Northern Iowa there, but of all the teams in the first round that I thought got no favors from the committee, it was St. John's.
Couple of things, Bruce. Again, Hofstra, Virginia, Missouri, and Northern Iowa. To the Big East, look, we talked about the new landscape of roster building, NIL era. I don't think any conference has suffered as much as the Big East. I get it. With Creighton, Marquette, Butler, Providence, Xavier, Georgetown, none of them close to what they've been. But Connecticut is in that league. And, I mean, they won 2 out of the last 3 and gave the national champion all they could handle in the second round last year. That was a 50-50 game. Clayton Jr. had to come up with some of his heroics again to get them past that first. But they won the regular season outright, and they won the tournament. I mean, they're better in the regular season and the tournament than UConn alone. That alone should get you a protected seed. I mean, so maybe very, very not as much maybe as we used to as far as we know the top 10 is not, but the conference tournaments just don't seem to have much of an impact on these seedings. And I mean, it's college basketball, and more than ever, there's turnover in your roster where, I mean, teams are completely different in March than what they were in December, in January. So I think that maybe it doesn't have to be an official piece of criteria, but that's got to count. I mean, your teams, how you coach. And Pitino is one of the best coaches in the history of college basketball, and his teams are always better at the end of the year. And the other thing you touched on as far as how do they let a lower-seeded team basically have a home court advantage, being close? How are they going to send Florida to Houston to play if they reach the Elite Eight against Houston? I mean, that's just I don't know, man. I mean, maybe, Charlie, is everything money? They're just trying to keep, after the first few seeds, they're just trying to keep people as close to home. But that St. John's going to San Diego doesn't make any sense.
No, they haven't. They haven't really done that in the basketball tournament that I've seen.
So how do they allow that? How do they invest so much time and still allow that to happen, where the lower seed team has a home court advantage? That's so dumb, and it's just bad.
Yeah, we remember the last true home court advantage in the NCAA tournament happened right here.
Well, I know, but if LSU's playing in the Superdome, it's an advantage.
No, absolutely, absolutely it is. But my point is, they tried to get this out of the tournament 40 years ago, okay? But that's a mess up. That's a mess up.
Brucey?
Yeah, well, the Missouri thing is really funny. I mean, you put them in St. Louis as a 10 seed. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. It makes me think these guys, they make mistakes. Sometimes they aren't paying attention. But the fact that Tourney Chair
came out and said that about Purdue moving up because it won its conference tournament over Michigan. Why wouldn't the same thing apply to St. John's beating UConn? I can't understand that. The Big East thing is interesting because I hear what you're saying, but there are some advantages these Big East schools have, though. There's no football, and like it's a very low level in a couple of those schools, I guess. But the revenue that comes in, it's all basketball, and those are very desirable jobs. And Providence spends a lot of money, and they just got rid of their coach, and they're trying. They're going after Herb Sendek. What I hear, I'm not sure he's going to leave. But I think it's sort of cyclical there. I mean, this is the first Creighton down year in a while. Marquette was down this year. If the coaching is right and the situation's right, I still think the Big East can compete just because they don't worry about football there. It's all basketball, and I think they should be able to do it. But you're right, this year it wasn't like the St. Johnson does puzzle me, though. And it's like somebody doesn't like Patino on the committee, and I could say, okay, I guess I could see that. But I think that might have been as much a reason as anything.
Charlie, what was the piece out of Oklahoma, the Daily Oklahoma? And they estimated, all the SEC budgets. The average is what, like 10 million, 10, 11?
9 to 11.
Okay, so 10 million is basically the average. Of course, Kentucky, way above that. But we had our friends in from Creighton. They had the baseball team was playing at LSU and in a weekend series down in Tulane. And so we're talking to them, and very, very, very close to the program. Said their budget was $6 million, Bruce, at Creighton, and they're expected to be. So, I mean, yes, they're number one on their campus, but they don't have that overall football athletic revenue or that big conference revenue. They just don't have the budgets. I mean, it's kind of like the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants competing against the Dodgers and the Yankees and Red Sox. So, I mean, they have bigger budgets,
It's just percentage of allocation at a place like Providence. It's all basketball, and I know it's still a little bit less than some of the other big schools get, but at least at Providence, that's it. I mean, it's they're not sharing it with anything. So you're right. I mean, it's not going to be quite at that top level, but I still think. I mean, it's not bad though, and that's why those jobs. Listen, Villanova. I mean, they're right up there. There's a reason Kevin Willard left the Big Ten to go to Villanova. It's a better job than Maryland, and some of those jobs are pretty good.
I'm not sure what Maryland's, but they're in the Big Ten. So they're, we know a coach that took a job last year. He took a high major, and he was trying to get into the SEC first and the Big Ten second because of their overall athletic budget. And he told me that some Big East coaches were looking at other places too. So I hope it doesn't because I love those programs. I love those. But Bruce, I put on a game. It was Georgetown and maybe Marquette, and there's like 2,000 people in the arena, So I mean, it's just I'm worried about the Big East, and it could be a short sample size. You still, I mean, when it's going on, but all of those teams not close to where they normally have been. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried, but I was also worried about March Madness, and yesterday was just fine. So.
I think Georgetown falling off has hurt the Big East, though. I mean, it's been a while since they've been good, and I think they were a real part of why that thing got big in the first place. So that has hurt the Big East, I think.
I was surprised when Cooley left Providence for Georgetown. To be honest, I thought Providence was they were certainly a better program, in recent history. So, Bruce, you follow Santa Clara more than most. You've been to that, and we're talking before. Is that a Jesuit school, by the way? But they're up 2 at the break over at Kentucky, and we know Herb Sendek. He's done this before, even going back to his days at Miami, Ohio.
Yes, I mean, Sendek Santa Clara lucked out getting Sendek a few years ago when they moved Kerry Keating out. He's been a great fit. Now, he just signed an extension last year to 2030. They are paying him pretty well. Santa Clara's got some money. So on its level there, they can compete, and now Gonzaga's leaving the WCC, so they are in pretty good shape. I don't think it's guaranteed at all that Sendek would leave for Providence unless he wants to go back east. But no, I don't think Santa Clara played particularly well in this first half, and here they are ahead with their big kid Graves in a little foul trouble. So they've got to be very encouraged about that. I think in this game here, I mean, the heat index on Mark Pope is high enough as it is. It's going to get turned up way more if you can't win this game. And I think Santa Clara has a shot to win this game, and they can play better than they did in the second half than they did in the first. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat turns up big on Mark Pope.
100%. You thought Hubert Davis took a few darts yesterday. You let Mark Pope lose this one.
Well,
with the highest payroll in the country.
We're all watching this game. If they weren't wearing Kentucky and Santa Clara jerseys, if one team was wearing white jerseys and the other team was wearing gray, could you tell which one's Kentucky?
No. You don't have an athletic superiority.
And
here.
that's what I'm on Kentucky, and I thought I was counting on that. Didn't get it.
Yeah. So, all right, Bruce, have you peeked toward tomorrow's matchups at all?
I have, and I think there's some interesting ones here tomorrow. Now, I thought the most impressive team, boys, maybe we saw yesterday was St. Louis. Whatever was bugging them the last couple weeks of the regular season, it sure wasn't against Georgia yesterday. Now, Georgia played into that some and just was bad. But I see an early number, 13 against Michigan. Michigan did not cover that game. That was a game into the early second half. They were having a scrap with Howard. That's now 8 out of 9 Michigan has lost against the spread. Since the Duke game, and I think that game sort of exposed some flaws in Michigan there on the perimeter. They don't have a lot of length and quickness on the perimeter. Kayson's injury has sort of messed up the rotations for Dusty May out on the perimeter. I know that front line is really good, but listen, St. Louis, Avila, and all these other guys, McCautry and Brown, they got 6 double-digit scores. That's a big price. They got a shot. I think Duke's going to have some trouble with TCU. Listen, the injuries, certainly to Foster and Dogma down low, they've got to play Cam Boozer at a 5 now. That is not his most comfortable position. They are in some trouble without their, those 2 guys in the lineup. I think TCU's got a shot to hang around in that game. And I think Texas has a shot at Gonzaga. That's 6.5 early. That's one team that has gotten revived here, and they've got some length out on the perimeter there. The big Lithuanian kid had a very good game, except at the free throw line. And Gonzaga's still without Braden Huff. They are very vulnerable. I was watching a game with some guys last night, and they said this is the worst 31-3 team they've ever seen. I think Texas has got a shot in that game. Really do. Plus 6.5. They may not need the points. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas won.
Bruce, let me back up on St. Louis for a second. We've already seen the coaching carousel start. Scott Cross leaving Troy to go to Georgia Tech today. Josh Schertz, regardless of what happens with them tomorrow at St. Louis, this going to be one of the hotter names of this cycle?
Well, he just signed an extension there, so I think he's going to stay put. Now, if he's actually put pen to paper, I'm not sure, but the word was that he's extended there. He would be unless he wants to stay. And, there's another job. Now, they don't have, Oklahoma or Texas A&M budget, but it's a very good mid-major job. They've got resources at St. Louis. He's getting paid really well. He doesn't have as much pressure. And he's going to be one, several of these guys at that level just want to stay. So I think it looks like he's staying in St. Louis. I agree with you. If he wants to put his name in the hat, he would be a top name. And I think Georgia Tech made a good hire with Scott Cross. He's won everywhere he's been. But it looks like Schertz is going to stay at St. Louis from what we hear.
Okay.
Great stuff as always, Brucey. Good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Have fun, boys.
All right, Bruce Marshall checking in live over here. Charlie, tell them again, every parlay straight bet, $20 a parlay, $40 straight bet. As you make it the window, get your ticket to throw in the hopper for up to $25,000 free play.
We're going to give away over $25,000 over the next 3 weeks. The next 3 Saturdays, you'll be putting your tickets in the drum, and we'll be drawing at 7:15, at 9:15 on Saturdays. You're drawing your Papa shots. The more shots you make, more points, the more free play that you can win here at Bally. So come on in. Hey, look, you just want to make one bet. Get one ticket. Hey, maybe you'll win a part of the free play drawings. We've been here the last few Saturdays. They have these free play drawings. They are awfully popular.
It's cool, man.
Yeah,
put them up on the screens.
It's a great way to come in and experience it. maybe you'll win a little bit, but you can certainly enjoy the atmosphere here at Bally's. There's not a bad seat in the house, and there's plenty of seats available for you if you want to come out here and watch for the rest of the day. Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial and Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony is taking it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, a chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
College football talk all year long on the Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Kentucky still at half, about to tip off in the second half, 31-29, Santa Clara over Kentucky. And also Texas Tech now, as much as a double-digit lead in the first half, 2:17 mark in the first half. Texas Tech at the line for 2 free throws. Texas Tech 37, Akron 29. So let's go. What's that, Charlie?
Max got to Arizona's tipping here in 10 minutes. Max, you can crunch some numbers.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the advanced stats. This is an absolute mismatch, as you would expect. But the problem is Long Island's offense, it all comes from twos, and Arizona's really good defending inside the arc. Second best in the country in two-point percentage. I would take Long Island team total unders. I'm in on the first half, under 26.5. It's 30.5-point spread, so there can always be a backdoor there, but I think this is an absolute blowout.
Long Island under.
Team total under. It's 26.5 in the first half. It's like 57.5 for the game.
What was Duke favored by yesterday? Is this the biggest line?
30.5. I want to say you had Illinois 25.5. Houston was 24. Duke was 27.5.
That's right. It came down because they had the injury.
So
not
yes,
just the point guard, but the big. Florida's the biggest line of the day over Prairie View, 35.
Howard was 31 yesterday.
Yeah,
they were catching 31,
Howard.
so.
I forgot to compliment Bruce. I mean, Howard's one of the best teams I've ever seen come out of that league. They were no joke.
No, they absolutely were.
And that was one of the final score might indicate that was way more competitive than we thought. Of course, Siena Duke takes the cake, but no, that Howard game was fine. They were represented well.
Any other advanced metrics?
That's all I've seen. Okay. Coming up here. You got Virginia and Wright State is the next game up in this window. I don't know what you think. I'm kind of on the under in that game, Jimmy. Virginia's more of an offensive team than you think of traditionally. But
way more.
Their defense is still okay. So I think that might be a lower scoring affair, but just not for Virginia's standards.
I only liked one over yesterday, and that did hit. Now it took a flurry. Now they went nuts. That the Wisconsin and High Point. I mean, they went nuts in the last 5 minutes. It was just shot after shot after shot. I mean, it was. I think they had one run. It was like 20 points in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I do like the over today in Miami, Ohio. I think that they've always been a high scoring team to play, but that's a different team than we've seen. And Tennessee's not close to what they've been defensively. Not close. And I did play a little bit on. I took a little bit of a price, and I took Houston to win it all, based on the kind of the card. The hand they were dealt. I mean, they're going to play Florida at home, in the Toyota Center if seedings hold, if form holds. So I was impressed with Houston yesterday. They were all business yesterday.
And didn't you think? I had them. I thought they would win last year. I thought they would win the national.
Basically won. They gave it away
right
at the end. Now they stole the semifinal because they were out against Duke. So they stole the semifinal and then gave the championship game away.
Sometimes you win it the year after you thought you're supposed to win it, where you don't get it. Am I reaching
here? No, because that was a great showing. It was not like a disappointing showing. It's not like when Virginia got knocked out the first round as a 1 and then won it the next year. Sometimes history, and then the Final Four. The year after Ralph Sampson left, they went to the Final Four. The year after Dominique Wilkins left Georgia, they went to the Final Four. That was in the year after Peyton Manning. They won a national championship game at Tennessee. So sometimes it's even 87, for LSU. I mean, after they went and they lost John Williams and lost basically the whole team, that Elite Eight team was really, really good. Really, really good. And blew a lead at the end against Indiana in the regional final.
Well, and Nikita Wilson had been ineligible the year before, and was a real key part of that team coming back.
Anthony Wilson was gone. Don Redden was gone. Derek Taylor. Ricky Blanton.
Yeah.
The starting five. It was a whole new starting five.
And I'll go you back. The year 85, LSU wins the SEC. They lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament to a guy named David Robinson in Navy.
Yeah, got killed.
The next year, they were 10 seed or 11 seed in 86 when they went to the
11.
Final Four. Okay, so you go from SEC champion out in the first round. The next year, you're an 11 seed. You barely get into the tournament, and you go to the Final Four. You get on that run. So sometimes happens the other way. Kentucky clinging to a 1-point lead 3 minutes into the second half. Texas Tech a a 5-point lead with under a second to go there in an official review there, going to the half, 40-35 against Akron. We got more picks coming up.
Ace
Seminary when we come back here.
Yeah.
We are at Bally's Sportsbook, downtown Baton Rouge. Listen, if you enjoy March Madness and you want to watch all of the games at the same time, great sight lines, lots of seating, good food and drinks, great atmosphere. We enjoyed it yesterday. We're looking forward to a long day of basketball today. Come on by and see us. Plus, your chance to win a part of $25,000 in free play throughout this NCAA basketball tournament. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Pierrepont Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierrepont. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we are here at Bally's watching
Akron kind of scrapping back into it a little bit, huh?
5-point game at the half.
Okay.
They were down, I think, as many as 12.
11-12, yeah.
And Kentucky with a 4-point lead.
Man, we've enjoyed having Ace Seminara, a veteran handicapper in the New York area, but this we really have enjoyed. Ace, thanks for coming on, man. This is just such a great event, and we were worried if Cinderella was dead, severely wounded, and you couldn't tell there was an NIL era watching yesterday's first round. How you doing, man? How was your first day of the March Madness?
Couple of winners, couple of tough losses. Overall, exactly what you would expect out of first day of the tournament. Thank God we had some winners. Some tough, great, crazy games out there. Teams coming back. Exactly what you would expect out of the tournament, Jimmy. So listen, I want to be able to offer some free picks to people out there. All your listeners, text the word free picks to 631-805-6165. You'll get my top-rated free picks every single day. No hassles. Just text the word free picks to 631-805-6165. Punch it into your phone, 631-805-6165. You get my top-rated free picks every single day, today, tomorrow, Sunday. Help you out through the NIT, through the tournament, NBA as well.
One of the big storylines is Alabama losing their number 2 scorer, Holloway. So he's got some bigger things he's got to address now. But, a little support overnight. This line is going bumped up from 11.5 to 12.5 over Hofstra.
Yeah, obviously nobody's worried about it. I guess that Holloway is just burning this opportunity for his team. No pun intended. So, yeah, here we go with Hofstra now. The Pride back in the tournament. Haven't been in a tournament in quite some time since Speedy Claxton was playing. Now he's coaching. Done a hell of a job there. Let me tell you something. You talk about the year of the freshman this year. Nobody's mentioned Preston Ed Mead. He was the CAA Freshman of the Year, most outstanding player in their CAA tournament. Preston Ed Mead. Kid's just making himself a ton of money. You know it's going to happen. He's going to jump for the NIL money after this. But right now, between him and Cruz Davis, a guy that left Iona, went over to St. John's with Rick Pitino, and now over to Hofstra, put up several 30-point games during the season this year. They're a slowed-down, defensive-type team, great at free throw shooting, solid three-pointers. It's going to come down to whether their big men can stay out of foul trouble. 7-footer, great name, Silas Sunday. Victory Onuendo, 6'10" big man as well. Those guys got to stay out of foul trouble. All right, it's going to be a lot of pressure now on Phil Young to keep up the scoring pace, 21 points a game without Holloway. Certainly they love to run up and down the court. Coach Oates isn't going to tell them to stop. So it's going to be a contrast in styles there. I believe the backcourt, especially the way Ed Mead controlled the game. I'm really impressed by this kid as a freshman. He's just making himself a ton of money, as I mentioned. Give me the 12.5 points with the Hofstra Pride to keep this one within that number.
All right, let's stay in the neighborhood. In New York, the Johnnies, look, Patino's one of the best ever. His teams usually get better. And look, with the turnover in rosters more than ever in college basketball, it's really important how your team develops over the course of the year. St. John's is hot. They won the regular season title outright over UConn by a game. Then they beat UConn in the final. Good ratings, too, strong ratings. Having a number one media market team in there with the Johnnies. And what do? They congratulate them and send them out to San Diego as a 5 seed. Northern Iowa likes to slow down the pace. This line has jumped from 9.5, 10.5 also.
Yeah, well, you'd expect that number to jump up. I got down on it at 9.5 yesterday once I saw it get below 10. Coach Pitino certainly using that slight against them, being placed out there, being sent out to San Diego, being placed in that region, a 5 seed, when all you did is win the regular season championship of the Big East back-to-back seasons and win the Big East tournament back-to-back seasons, the first time that has ever been done. All right? They're peaking at the right time, and it's not only on offense, on defense. They're picking it up full court. So how do you speed up a slow team? Jimmy, that's what you do. Northern Iowa wants to walk it up. One of the slowest paces of all in the entire country. All right, they only give up 61 points a game. Number one defense against points per game in the entire country. So, again, a contrast in styles, but you don't think Coach Pitino knows how to speed things up? All right, he's going to have Coach Jacobson scratching his head saying, what the heck did I get into here? Because he's using that slight against them and building up his team. They're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, pick them up full court, right, which is going to speed up that pace of play. And they just don't have anywhere near the athletes that St. John's did. They got hot at the right time, won the Missouri Valley Conference because Belmont got knocked off by the 9 seed in the first game. Otherwise, they finished number 6 in the Missouri Valley Conference during the regular season. You know, when it's all said and done, St. John's is superior talent. The front court of Ejiofor, Mitchell, and Hopkins, as physical as they are, the only other physical front court I could maybe put them up there against is Florida. You know, otherwise, I'd say St. John's has got to have the most physical front court there is. They're picking up their defense right now and their depth. You know, let me lay the 9.5, even 10 points, get that down to a flat number. Give me the Johnnies to run away with that one, and Coach Patino to get to the next round.
All right, late one tonight, 9 o'clock expected tip, and, you know, those late ones usually even start a little bit later than originally scheduled. UConn, speaking of the Big East, UConn at 20.5. And, man, Hurley's just a hell of a tournament coach. You know, they go they rout the field back-to-back years, a couple of years ago. And, look, gave the national champions all they could handle in the second round in that Florida game last year, and that Sunday of the first weekend of the tournament. I mean, it was a 50-50 game coming down the stretch. Clayton Jr. with some more heroics in that one. John, Huskies here, 2:15 matchup, 20.5 over Furman.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know about Coach Hurley. You know, before they get lost last year to stop their streak of 2 in a row, they had covered 14 straight tournament games. Not just one 14 straight. Covered.
Forget about that.
Straight tournament games.
Yeah.
So does he know how to get his team ready to play tournament games? And here comes little Furman, you know, out of the SoCo. You know, kudos to Bob Ritchie. Great job out of the coach getting them there. You finished number 6 in the SoCo in the Southern Conference regular season. Your leading scorer, again, shocking. Another freshman leading his team, 17.7 points a game. Doesn't get much help from too many other guys on that team. The level of talent disparity here in this game is enormous. I like to look at matchups, Jimmy, and look at the bracket and say, well, what is all the 116 numbers? Are they all comparable? What are all the 215 numbers comparable? This is the lowest out of the 215 matchups there is, 20.5. Again, in Philly, not too far away for Connecticut to get there. Who's going there from Furman? They'll have a few people in the crowd, maybe 3 or 4. All right, Connecticut with Hurley there, absolutely going to use that game that they got their asses whooped by St. John's last week. Let's not two ways about it. They were down 10-0 from the get-go, never really came back in their game. But let's see who they beat during the season. Did get one victory against St. John's, beat Illinois, beat BYU, beat Kansas, beat Florida. This is a deep team. Let's not forget about what they do in the conference. 20 points, 20.5 points. Give me the Huskies late at 20 points. And again, don't forget to text me, fellas. There's free winners there. We got the matchups already set for tomorrow. NIT for tomorrow. NIT already set for Sunday. Those lines are out. I'm already jumping all over those games. Text the word free picks to 631-805-6165. That's all it takes. You'll get my top-rated free picks. Help you make some money straight through the tournament. How you doing so far on the tournament, Jimmy? Is your bracket still alive?
I took a little bit of a price in Houston to win it all. I'm pleased with them. The first one, you know, I don't think they're quite as smothering as they've been defensively. He's got two freshmen playing. They're two NBA players, but they're so much more explosive offense. And look, man, the committee did them a favor. If they get advanced to the Elite Eight and play Florida, they're playing them in Houston. So I took a shot with Kelvin Sampson and his crew there. But yesterday was kind of a juice out day. It was a small loser for me. So just kind of
It's okay. Plenty of time left in the tournament, obviously.
Yeah.
And one thing about Houston is, I love the emergence of Mercy Miller coming off the bench. You know, his dad, Grandmaster Flash, or any of your rappers out there.
Yeah, Master P.
Coming off the bench and shooting threes has been tremendous.
We're well aware of who he is. He's a local product. So yeah, he did shoot him back into that game against in the final. In the Big 12 final. Ace, again, text Ace free picks. Just text him free picks 631-805-6165. 631-805-6165. 6165. Ace, good luck to you this weekend, man, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thanks, Jimmy. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Ace. All right, Ace, again, text Ace free picks. Just text him free picks 631-805-6165. 631-805-6165. Ace, good luck to you this weekend, man, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
You too, Jimmy. Get some winners, my friend.
Yes, indeed. All right, Ace Seminara with us every Tuesday and Friday throughout the entire tournament, and just giving out his complimentary picks. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. It's Total Maintenance. My man, Lucas Ragusa. We're talking about seeing brick wall over here today. 30 years ago. Man, that's how long Lucas has been in this industry. He has worked in every position along the way, and he knows what it takes to put a good team together to act efficiently enough to where our slogan is service today, every day. That means you call today, you get service today. No one sleeps hot when they call 480-1000. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin and Rheem products. Generators, we are authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings as well. We've got all of Baton Rouge metro area covered, and the metropolitan New Orleans area covered as well. But completely separate staffs and offices, not to compromise each operation. Our membership programs are the smart way to do it. Cover all services with discounts and extended warranties, and we'll let you know when it's time to get your unit service. Like right now, it's very important to get that thing cleaned so it operates more efficiently. It's going to cool down your house quicker, and it's going to cut down on your monthly bills, and it's going to extend the lifetime of your unit as well. Again, Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
All right, they're at the under 12 timeout. Kentucky leads Santa Clara 51-47. Halftime, Texas Tech leads Akron 40-35. And they're at the first media timeout. Arizona already with a double-digit lead, 15-4 over Long Island. Next game to get started in about 5 minutes is Wright State and Virginia. That game is in Philadelphia. Live at the Bally Sportsbook here in downtown Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice. Jordan?
It's rolling.
Okay. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road across from Ruffino's. We'll recap the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, let you know how LSU did in baseball against Oklahoma. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Monday from Chris's Specialty Foods on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and
Jordan.
Highway 74 in Gonzales.
You cool with the text? You good with?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know about it today. So
We didn't either. So that's okay. Just fix it from. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. They can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at ThibodeauStore.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. All college football all year long. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we are winding down here the show, but not the excitement here at Bally Sportsbook downtown Baton Rouge for the NCAA basketball tournament. Again, over the next 3 Saturdays, they will be giving out $25,000, a little over $25,000 in free play. So come on by. If you make one $20 parlay or a $40 $40 straight bet, you'll get a ticket into the drawing. They'll be drawing the next 3 Saturdays. Got the Papa Shot going so you can get your multiplier going and win a portion of that money while you enjoy the games here at Bally.
See how this works? We wind it down. I go to Armando, a dribble penetration, a dish to rock, said audio, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Bam.
Nice.
I'm like Darius Acuff. I'm throwing up lobs, baby.
I'll tell you what.
Who was that Lob City? Was that Florida Gulf Coast? Was that their nickname?
It was the Clippers.
Yes. Yeah. I think so. Andy Enfield. Andy Enfield said he didn't even know the school existed when he got offered the job.
Wow.
Went down there, and then he marries the Maxim model. He's now he's moved from L.A. to Dallas, and he's just doing his thing. He got up to the first round.
Life is good, except they lost the other night. Other than that, they're pretty good. All right, Santa Clara, 1-point lead on Kentucky. 8 minutes and change to go.
This has been pretty tight the whole way, and it's kind of a little favorable whistle from time to time with Kentucky too.
Yeah, they have, and there's no real that I can see discernible difference in the quality of players on these two teams. I mean, for what Kentucky spent. And I don't know what Santa Clara spent, but I know it ain't what Kentucky spent. There's not that kind of discrepancy. Arizona 22-9 on Long Island. That game 7 minutes in, and Texas Tech has opened up an 8-point lead on Akron, 43-35. That game is just underway in the second half, and they have just tipped Wright State and Virginia in the final game of the first block here on day 2 of the NCAA tournament. So.
3-0 chalk, race to 10 today. So, that little trend yesterday, it's off to Precious. There you go, baby. That's for you. Thank you. Precious?
I've met her, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've met her, yeah.
So, 59. Is this the biggest lead for Santa Clara? They've led, but not 4. 4 seems like it's about as much as they've been ahead. So, a timeout in the action. Under 8 timeouts, 7:47 to go in the second half. Broncos by 4.
Very good,
Santa
Jimmy.
Clara.
That is their largest lead. Kentucky has led by no more than 7. So this has been tight throughout. Kentucky's led for most of the game, but they have not led by by very much.
Virginia tipped. They're underway.
Was watching.
Yeah, a minute and a half in, no score. So
what else we got here before we? we wrap up? We told them about the contest.
Contest, man, all weekend. Look, there's still rooms available. Also, we're staying over here. It's nice. I mean, they got the coffee shop that's open 24 hours a day.
Get your red velvet this morning?
Red velvet, yes, indeed, and my cappuccino, and so that's good. The pizza's over here, wood fire. So they do Italian sandwiches as well. I mean, it's a cool spot, man. And if you haven't been here, this is the day. And the thing is, a lot of sports books that we've done, it's crammed. This has plenty of space. There is not one person that came from 11 a.m. to midnight yesterday that didn't have a spot. You got about 10 tables right in front of the screens. You got about, I don't know, maybe 20 spots or so at this video poker bar. All of it. And the great thing about this, and this is by design, this screen is so big, it's kind of a focal point of the whole casino. Yeah. You can see it be at the tables. They got the center bar where they got multiple TVs there as well. So, man, it's Charlie. I know I can be a little cranky sometimes, but this is an A, my man.
Not you. And easy parking too. Full garage, right across the driveway here.
You can do valet if you want. Yeah. Okay, so that's available. If you want to self park, we park at the bridge side garage, which is plenty of parking there as well. So. And look, it was a good crowd yesterday. It was good, but we have space for more, man. There's a lot of it. So we watched LSU Oklahoma last night too. Mm-hmm. So you're not missing that there. We got it where the 6 screens are set up to where they got 2 screens that are optional. We'll be turning golf on again. Max, we got a little life. Got a little life.
A little bit. David Ford 3 under. So if you got a top 20, he's in the top 20 right now. Yeah.
You leave it to Max. He's introduced me to another golfer I've never heard of. Where did he play college, Max?
I do not know. Sahit Thagala, our other
High Point.
He's missing the cut. David Ford, not High Point.
Thagala's a Pepperdine guy, right?
He is.
Yeah.
All right, we're Christmas Specialty Foods on Monday. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
North Carolina.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs.
You too, Jordan.